Hi guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video we're going to have some Division 18 ranked online gameplay in the middleweight division, and we're going to be using none other than George St-Pierre. And I don't often use GSP, especially at middleweight, just because of his chin. It just feels really weak, but I thought I'd give him a try. I haven't used him in a while. Wanted to mix up the fighter I was using. Obviously I believe he's only a 4-star fighter at middleweight. Only has jab level 4, and I think his double leg takedown is also level 4. But obviously George St-Pierre, one of the best fighters to ever grace the octagon. Fight IQ, I mean, just unreal athlete. Even now, if you look at him now, he could probably still easily walk in and be a championship fighter. Obviously he came back to win the middleweight belt against Michael Bisping, but you know, I think that match was very suited for him. Out of all the champions, I think a Robert Whittaker fight would have been very different, which is who was going to fight next. But you know, that didn't come to fruition. But yeah, you can't blame GSP. He had to bulk up quite a lot to make up middleweight, and you could see he just wasn't in himself. His physique didn't look great. He looked a bit more lethargic, but got the job done, became champion. And with GSP on the game, if you are going to use him, you pretty much have to have a wrestling orientated game plan, which might sound like common sense, but a lot of the time you come against GSP users and they try to kickbox with you, they try to box with you, and you're at an extreme disadvantage, especially at middleweight, because of the power punchers such as Robert Whittaker, Paulo Costa, Yoel Romero. They've got so much power in their hand that you get clipped once and it can change the whole fight. So ideally you want to look into mixing your grappling and submissions where possible. As you can see, I'm really trying to work the body here. And by all means, I'm not saying that George St-Pierre's boxing is bad, but all it is the fact that there's better boxers with more power, and his chin health isn't the greatest. So, as you can see there, we get absolutely flatlined, and fortunately we end up surviving this, but this is the worst situation. I mean, you could have been in my head health's obsolete, it's just disappeared. My opponent did a good job there. The only saving grace is we managed to survive, and now we're on the ground, but we are off our back. I just need to try and minimise the damage that I could potentially take from my opponent. Hopefully work a way to get on top. I'm just looking for a denial here in full guard. Full guard is the position you're most comfortable in. You know, you can sort of relax. Your opponent can't do too much damage unless you keep letting them posture up. Only submission available from there, I believe, is a leg lock as well. So you know, you're pretty much stress free. And now we've ended up on top here, and my opponent made the mistake of elbowing with the hand that's on the back of my head. Whenever you do that, it's an easy posture up. We're into side control here, and I'm just going to look to take up some control time. Obviously my opponent got the knockdown, won the round pretty decisively, unless I also get a knockdown. I don't want to take too much damage if we go to defeat, so I'm more than content to ride out this round here, see if I can pick up any patterns, see where my opponent moves, which side he blocks, and these little things can change your whole fight. But like I said, it's you know, not the best round. It's a 5-round fight. I always sort of take the first round to see how my opponent fights, if there's any patterns, any similarities that I can pick up on. Overall, apart from the knockdown, I didn't think it was too bad of a round. Didn't use too much stamina. But going into the second half, of course, I need to make some adjustments, implement wrestling more where possible. But even on the stand-up, I felt pretty confident. I didn't feel like my opponent was outworking me, doing too much. I feel like I had great success going to the body, but obviously going to the body leaves you prone for an uppercut. And due to this confidence I gained, you can see that I ended up getting knocked down again. And this is the problem, is that I go in there going, you know, I have the game plan of I need to wrestle. My striking starts to feel good, and due to that I end up striking more, which as a byproduct ends up getting me knocked down again in this second round. So I know I need to wrestle, but I'm picking my moment, because obviously when you're in the higher divisions, your opponent knows what you want to do. I don't want to make it too predictable, and I'm just waiting for the right time. Of course, this knockdown hasn't helped. Ideally, I need a knockdown in this round to level it out and potentially win the round, because the way it works, I don't know if you guys watched my Israel Adesanya video versus Nick Diaz, which should have been uploaded before this, but it just goes to show you how if you're if you're a striker fighting a wrestler and the wrestler or grappler gets you to the ground but isn't doing enough damage, you know, you don't get points for that really. The judges don't do you any favours. So as you can see, we ended up getting knocked down, go on top of my opponent. He tries to get up by going up, I deny it, and then we end up in side control. Now we've got a knockdown each, and now if I work on the ground, land some elbows from side control, maybe attempt some submissions to get into the later stages, this is how I win this round. And that's the thing you've got to do as a wrestler. You can't just lay and pray, because if you get up and your opponent has more significant strikes, they're going to win that round. And it's happened time and time again, and that Israel Adesanya video is evident of the fact that you can pretty much let your opponent lay on top of you, and just because they're getting up this control time doesn't mean they're actually going to win. I'm sure you guys have had many experiences where you've been playing online as a wrestler or try to implement a wrestle heavy gameplay, and then it goes to decision, you end up losing, and you have like 8 minutes of control and you don't understand how. But it's all down to significant strikes. I think the game, it values damage over control, so that's one thing you've got to remember. And me myself, I'm not very much of a striker. I do like striking. It's something that I'm trying to work on. I'm going to have a video, I think, going up with Michael Johnson, which is maybe in Division 16 or 15 from this season, so Season 8, and now we're in Season 9. And I might upload that, and that's just me working on my boxing. But I'll see if I can upload that video so you guys see how I try to practice and better myself, because I'd say my grappling's very good, but it's definitely my main strength. I think I need to work on my stand-up quite a lot. I think my kickboxing is good, it's mainly the boxing. But I accidentally got up here. Definitely didn't mean to do that because I was in a dominant position. But overall, that second round was very good, and I think that second round might have just shifted the tide a bit. Obviously, we got the knockdown after my opponent got the knockdown, and I'm feeling a bit more confident here. As you can see, I'm really trying to push the pace, and I know that on the ground I have a very, very big advantage. So I know I need to get the fight to the ground, but I'm being patient. I'm not going to rush into it. And standing with Robert Whittaker's a big problem, because he's got that 1-2 and then that beautiful head kick that follows, and it always causes me problems when I fight Rob Whittaker. I know a lot of people get caught with it, and Rob is the best fighter in this division, without a doubt, on the game. And as you can see, we stun my opponent here as we're both going for this exchange, and I know my opponent's head health is not in a good position at all. Obviously managed to get the knockdown last round, and we've done some good work with the elbows from side control. Side control being, in my opinion, the most dominant position. And I'm just trying not to get caught with an uppercut, because I like to go to the body with a straight. And when I do go, it leaves my chin open in the air. And the way uppercuts are in this game, it's not going to take much for it to even knock you out cold. So I'm trying to be as wary as possible. And again, I'm just trying to feel what my opponent's trying to do. I'm growing in confidence. As you can see, my combos are flying a bit more. I'm really attacking the lead leg. When you want to fight a power puncher, you have to attack the lead leg. It decreases their power. Obviously, that's exactly what you want. And so, where possible, I am going to the leg. My opponent clinches here, and I think goes for a takedown, which we stuff. It was interesting that my opponent went for a takedown there. He went to lunge to the other side, beautifully timed leg kick, ends up dropping my opponent. So we've got a leg health event there. And the fact that my opponent initiated a grappling exchange to me showed that right now my opponent isn't feeling too comfortable on the feet. Of course, I could just be reading into that too much, but that's what I got from my opponent doing that. And as you can see, I'm throwing a lot more, but I'm not throwing to kill. I'm just touching my opponent, letting my opponent know I'm there. And the leg kicks added into this round has been a huge helping factor. It's been a very deciding of this round, and I'm not going for a takedown. As you can see, I felt really confident in this round, and like I said a couple rounds prior, that you shouldn't let your growing confidence distract you from your game plan. This is one of the rare times that it did happen with me, and I could have got punished for it. As you can see, my opponent's pressuring me a lot here, but I know there's a strike there to catch my opponent with, and because my opponent's health's not in the greatest position, I know that when I do capitalise, it will hurt my opponent. As you can see, get a stun there, go to the body again, mixing up well, and that is a beautiful switch kick, and then very well timed, we get on top here and get the finish. So that's the video for today. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.